Hello, and welcome back to the 7th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I'm your host, Just Alonzo. I am jacked in a tank top, and I am joined by my co-host, Nicholas O'Brien. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. If you talked to me last night, the answer would be different, but today
You were
changed.
unapproachable.
Yes.
Unapproachable.
Yes. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Because
sorry.
No. But it's fine, as you could tell. I'm in happy spirits, high spirits, good spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Just want to say, new mic.
yes.
We pray to any god that is out there.
Yes.
This is better.
Yes.
We think it's better.
Let us know.
Let us know.
But, yeah. Something I wanted to, or more so, ask you and have you talk about is, well, first of all, hope you didn't miss us.
Yeah.
We missed the last series. Blame the Easter Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Damn scoundrel.
Yeah. But during the quote-unquote Easter break, Justin went to Camden Yards to see Camden. Same thing. Went to the Yankees-Orioles game. So, wanted to talk about how was the game with the pitch clock.
Anthony Volpe's the best player I've seen. I've seen his first extra base hit. I am pretty much Anthony Volpe's best friend.
Okay.
No, it was really good. The 1, 2, 3 innings literally felt like they were 5 minutes.
Right.
Not even that.
Right.
It would have been a 2-hour, 20-minute game if it wasn't for the 5th and 6th inning where there was just traffic everywhere, a bunch of pitch changes. It was a lot different.
Yeah.
The pace of play was a lot it was going to the 5th inning. It wasn't even 2 hours in.
Right. Okay.
It ended up being like 3 hours, I think.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot different. Games are a lot more fun to go to.
I was gonna say good different.
Good different.
Good different. Nice.
Because it's just dead. Because how boring is it when you're at a game? It's like 7th, 8th inning,
Yeah.
and a pitcher just nonstop throws over 20
Yes.
times for no reason. Keep stepping off. You can't do that anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another funny thing is, one guy on the Orioles, forgot the name, he got a pitch clock violation.
Okay.
Everyone in the stadium was like looking at it when it was at like 3 seconds. Everyone was like, "Oh!"
Right.
So
where for? I know it's different in every stadium, but where was it? Like, could you see it from where you were sitting?
yes, but it was like straight in front of me.
Okay.
So like that could just be a thing of where my seats were.
Right.
It was probably like halfway between the dugout and behind where the umpire is, directly behind home plate.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But so far so good.
Yeah, there was
Alright,
one other
cool.
thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I am convinced that when Judge came up, they were pumping in booze. It was not. There's no way that many people could boo Judge that loud, especially considering half of them were Yankee fans.
Right.
They were pumping in booze.
Artificial booze.
Yeah. 2020 type beat.
How can you hate Judge?
Dude, it's
Division rival, but like, hey,
if you're the Red Sox, if you're the Astros, I get it.
different story.
But maybe the Blue Jays and Rays, I kind of get that. Brian just died. But just off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
Yeah.
so far so good.
But,
the pitch clock. But
I'm just gonna start doing it every time now until you stop.
yeah, that'll teach me.
Mm.
I'm getting better, I swear.
You're in rehab.
Yeah, I'm in
all right.
rehab.
Yeah, that's that for the intro. We'll see you in the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Now entering the Bronx.
Hello and welcome to the Bronx.
The Bronx.
So gonna start off with the injury report brought to you by the Triboro MD. First off,
How's it looking, Dr. Alonzo?
how's it looking? Let me get my
What's the damage?
my heart thingy.
How long does he have?
Stethoscope. What is it? The heart
Something like that.
thing.
The cold thing. The little like.
They're like
Yeah, deep breaths.
deep breaths. All right. First off, starting with Luis Severino. That's how you pronounce it.
Severino,
Luis Severino.
for those who couldn't understand.
He felt no pain after pitching a bullpen on Monday. He's throwing another bullpen tomorrow with Thursday, and we'll throw to live hitters after that. That's like the next step.
Yep.
Very good.
Yes.
Carlos Rodon suffered a minor setback with a tight back. Only expect to delay him like a couple of days, so you think maybe a start.
Right.
That doesn't seem that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It seemed like it's one of those things where it's like, you just pay this guy $162 million. don't risk it.
Right. It's beginning of the season. You want to just make sure he's 100% before you throw him back out there.
Especially considering everything else.
Yeah.
And then some injuries to catch up on from last week's episode. Tommy Kahnle moved to 60-day IL. That was kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Pretty much the reason they did that is just to get another 40-man spot. Josh Donaldson, 10-day IL with hamstring tightness. It's expected to be nothing serious. I think it's just like a 10-day thing. Yeah. Honestly, just like I feel like he could have stayed on the roster. They just wanted the roster spot.
Right.
And it's a good thing they did. Jonathan Loaiziga, 10-day IL with right elbow inflammation. He'll be shut down for a couple of weeks.
Right.
That scares me.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear anything in the elbow, inflammation, tightness, that always like...
That's a little scary.
But we've seen nothing... That was like, what, a week ago?
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything.
There's no updates, right?
Which is good.
I guess. No news is good news?
Yeah, because I feel like it would be a thing of like, the only update we would see is like, oh, he needs Tommy John or something like horrible like that.
Yeah.
So that's good. So yesterday, Tuesday, Gleyber Torres in the 9th inning got a hit. He ended up tweaking his hip flexor. He did not start today, but he pinch ran for Stan in the 9th inning, scored the winning run. So. We'll get into that. DJ LeMahieu, quad tightness in his day-to-day.
Right.
I think that's another one of those just like
give him
playoffs
a day
he plays.
Yeah.
He'll probably get like a day or two off, maybe 3, just like because he's older.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That is your injury update brought to you by the Triboro MD.
Thank you, Dr. Alonzo.
You're welcome, Dr. O'Brien. Just a cool story I saw. This quote from an article by Brendan Cuddy. It's talking about Jason Dominguez and Nick Swisher. But when Swisher talks about top outfield prospect Jason Dominguez, he ascends to a new level. Imagine a golden retriever after a bowl filled with a Red Bull. I just thought that was such a like funny and awesome quote.
Yeah.
That,
what a comparison.
That is a great quote.
I guess you could say Nick Swisher is a fan of Jason
Dominguez. He is a very fan. And I'm also a fan of Spencer Jones, but we will have to wait on that.
Yes.
All right, getting on to the recap. Game 1, it was a 3-2 loss in Cleveland. On the bump, you got Domingo Germán versus Shane Bieber. Top of the first, it was bases loaded, no outs. Giancarlo Stanton double, 2-0 Yankees. I want you to guess if they scored any more runs that entire game. They did not.
I will go for no.
Bottom of the 4th, IKF misses an easy double play ball, 2 more runs score, so it's 2-2. Colton Brewer comes into the game, bases loaded, no outs. He just thumps right on the table. He says, "You are not getting on base." He gets out of the base loading jam and throws 3 strong innings.
Love that.
I love Colton Brewer. I have no idea who this guy is. I love him so much now. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Josh Hamilton got a sacrifice fly off Ian Hamilton. Then top of the 8th inning, Gleyber Torres, leadoff triple. You have Judge, Rizzo, Stanton.
Surely they brought him in.
Check swing, fly out, strikeout, strikeout.
Surely they got him in.
I just wanted to highlight one player in this game. Isaiah Falefa. 1 caught stealing. 1 botched double play ball that were the deciding 2 runs. 1 double play hit into when it was still 2-2 that killed a potential rally. I just wanted to highlight
just putting
that.
It out there. Do with that what you will.
Domingo Germán went 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned because Isaiah Falefa sucks. 5 walks and 0 strikeouts. I didn't think he pitched horrible. I think he would have been out of the inning with that double play ball. Would have been no runs. Maybe could have got more length. The 5 walks is
concerning. In 3 innings?
That's...
Yikes.
So
almost
that is,
2 per inning?
That is concerning for sure.
Definitely.
I think he pitched better than the stat line shows.
Okay.
I think he could have maybe gone 5.
Right.
He didn't have control, like a lot of control, but I definitely think it would have been a lot better had it not been for that misplayed double play ball.
Right, yeah.
Shane Bieber, you know, the guy that they had about 30 pitches in the first inning, scored 2 runs, had second and third no out on. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Shane Bieber, everyone. Not Justin.
This goes back to the issue I said. either first or second podcast, like during the season, of sometimes they'll get a guy on the ropes in the first inning, second inning,
Right.
and then they just stop.
Can't knock him out.
Like, Bieber was like, it was on a platter. They could have
Right.
knocked Bieber out in the second or third inning.
Yeah.
But they kind of, I'm pretty sure the bullpen was warming up in the first inning for Bieber.
Right.
They just could not deliver that final blow.
Sounds familiar.
And just, that's definitely one thing, again,
Yeah.
keep your eye on. All right, game 2. Well, if there was any questions about the offense in game 1, they did a double bird to the fans and said, we're going to score runs. The game 2 was an 11-2 final for the Yankees. Garrett Cole versus Hunter Gaddis.
Poor
Hunter
guy.
Gaddis, poor guy. He filled in for Tristan McKenzie because McKenzie is on the 10-day IL.
I think he got moved to the 60.
60-day.
Regardless.
Yeah. In the bottom of the first inning, Gleyber, with an unusual misplay in the field, he missed an easy double play ball, which then Jose Ramirez capitalized. He ended up knocking in a run. Josh Naylor sac fly 2-0 Cleveland.
Jose!
Wrong Jose.
Sorry.
And then to end, it's actually funny, Gleyber made up for it. In the end of the inning, he made like a really nice play.
Yeah.
To end the inning. I think that's just one of those ones where it's like, you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
You're never going to be perfect.
Right.
I think that should have been an error. Those 2 runs are both charged to Cole. I think that neither of them should have been.
Right.
That's for later, though.
It's another discussion about errors.
Yeah. Top of the second, Jose Trevino. Now you can do it.
Jose!
RBI single
Jose.
to make it 2-1.
Jose.
Top of the third, Willie Calhoun, my 4'10" king, hits an RBI single to make it 2-2. Oswaldo Cabrera sac fly 3-2. The start of the legend himself, Franchi Cordero, 3-run home run to make it 6-2 Yankees. Then we go into the top of the fourth. Rizzo base-loaded RBI single for the Yankees, 7-2. Gleyber double play ball makes it 8-2, whatever. At that point, you don't care how, just get runs.
Yeah.
Any runs makes it, like, out of reach.
Little
Top
less
of the
stress.
sixth, Rizzo RBI single, 9-2. Judge scores on a wild pitch, 10-2. Top of the ninth, Willie Calhoun again, double play ball. Rizzo scores, that's 11-2.
Insurance runs.
Yeah, just, I don't care. Run it up.
Right.
Garrett Cole in that game, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Not sure about that. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Didn't have his strikeout stuff.
Yeah.
But you see that version of Cole a good bit where he may not have like that elite strikeout stuff, but he could still produce outs routinely.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think both those runs should not have been earned.
Right.
I think it should have been 7, 2 runs, no earned runs.
Yeah.
That's for another time. Then poor Hunter Gaddis. 3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
Yikes. Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah. You can say that again. Game 3. I want you to guess where I was for the first 2 innings and missed a lot of stuff.
I believe you're at physical therapy.
Physical therapy, everyone. So game 3 was a 4-3 Yankees win. Top of the first. Oh yeah. Should mention Anthony Volpe leadoff hitter, first time this season.
Oh yeah.
If DJ's hurt, maybe a trend that you see going forward.
Right.
Volpe leadoff double. I want you to guess what they did with that.
They scored him.
No. Bottom of the first. Okay. So Josh Naylor hits a ball to Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks catches it.
First mistake.
But he doesn't catch it. But he catches it. But he doesn't catch it. And then 5 minutes later, the Guardians challenge. But the rule says 15 seconds.
Right.
And no one has any idea what just happened.
Yeah.
So pretty much what happened, there was 1 out, runners on first and second, and Aaron Hicks dives for a ball. He gets it in the glove. Then it falls, so then he kind of traps it to trick the umpire. He ends up doubling the runner at second. But they said, and then like everyone was off the field. The Yankees, or the Guardians were pretty much coming onto the field.
Right.
And then after that, they reviewed it. It's one of those things of like,
you had to see it to believe it, but no, it was
even then
really
you
confusing.
don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right. I think from what I saw, Hicks never caught it.
Yeah.
He trapped it.
He sold it.
Yeah. He tricked the umpire, but the Guardians just took way too long to challenge it. And I don't even know if Terry Francona actually gave them
There's like a whole thing of like they may not even have challenged it. So we don't know like
I don't exactly know what happened.
Even like people that were watching the game.
They didn't know
like,
what happened.
What just like
Right. It's one of those things where umpires may have
too much power.
Yeah, may have abused their power a little. But regardless, moving on.
Because of that, Aaron Boone got his first ejection of the year.
There you go.
6 more. Josh Bell, RBI single. Jose Ramirez scored. That's 2-0 for Cleveland. Then in the bottom of the third, Ahmed Rosario. Oh, I forgot to mention this was Clark Schmidt versus Peyton Battenfield.
That's a name.
Yeah, he was making his MLB debut.
Good for him.
You know, Ahmed Rosario
Mets
hits a fastball
no, he
for
doesn't.
a home run.
He doesn't do that.
This ball could not have been more middle if Clark Schmidt did not place it in the center.
Right. Just place it on a tee and let it go.
He couldn't even place it that perfect. Top of the fifth, everyone's favorite catcher in Team USA MVP, Kyle Higashioka with a 2 RBI single. Andres Jimenez kills an umpire.
Yeah, that was rough.
So it was who was it?
It was a really long single, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, so Miles Straw hits a cutoff man, Jimenez tries gunning, I think it was IKF at home.
Just beams the umpire in the head.
Umpire in the side of the head.
Yeah.
Did not look fun. We should not be laughing.
No.
But
it's a little funny.
The
umpire's okay.
The umpire's okay.
That's why we're laughing.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to laugh.
It was just so random.
I know. It was just so like bang bang.
Yeah. Ball don't lie. Bottom of the fifth. I will give him credit. IKF, there was a ball that was laced to him. He caught it. It would have been first, second, no out, but he ended up getting it. Later in the game, I didn't write it down when, but he, of course, botched a easy
more
play.
routine play.
If you want a gold glove in your career, you make that play 100 out of 100 times.
Fair enough. He just thinks too. I honestly, real quick, I do think it's one of those things where he was just thinking too much.
Yeah. He was looking ahead.
Right.
So
when it's like straight at you, like scorcher.
And if you're wondering why I'm getting on IKF and I'm not getting on Glaber, it's because Glaber doesn't do this routinely.
Yeah.
IKF does.
Yeah.
And Glaber at least makes it up with a bat. IKF has a noodle. That's not IKF's fault. Everyone knows
just
the
not
type
him.
of hitter that he is, except Brian Cashman. Anyways, okay, so it's 3-2 Guardians going into the top of the seventh. Franchi
The story
Cordero
continues.
blasts a home run to dead center, 439 feet to tie it. I just
New Matt Carpenter?
No, he's better.
Better?
Because I feel like he could actually
sustain a little bit. Yeah.
Because the whole thing with him is that he never really got like a chance, and there was a thing that they were saying on the broadcast. He hit 450 in spring with the Orioles.
Cordero? Yeah.
And they just said,
they cut him. I know. I don't understand it.
You would think they want as many lefties as they can with that park, but
Yeah.
Oswaldo. So in the top of the ninth, Giancarlo Stanton hits a double. They pinch hit Glaber, pinch ran Glaber, which I was shocked because he had a hip flexor
issue.
So he didn't play.
Why is he running?
So I'd assume he's okay.
Yeah.
Then the man, the myth, the legend, Oswaldo Cabrera, the most fun man in baseball, RBI single off Emmanuel Clase.
Very
and
impressive.
then the bottom of the ninth, Clay Holmes has the most stressless inning of all time. Just a 1-2-3 inning. Don't look at the box score. It was bases loaded, barely got the last out. Whatever.
Stress free.
No. The pitching lines from that game, from Clark Schmidt, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Peyton Battenfield, 4.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts. There was a point in this game, I think it was through 4 innings, the only base runner they had was that Volpe double.
Right.
Off of him.
Yeah.
And then just kind of to defend Clark in the first inning, the home run, that's completely on him.
Yeah.
Literally could not have been more middle. But some of the exit velocity versus Clark, is Stephen Kwan, and this is all of them.
Yeah.
Stephen Kwan, 73.6. Ahmed Rosario, 78.3. Jose Ramirez, 67. Josh Naylor, 70.7. Josh Bell, 80.6. Will Brennan, 74.3.
Right.
I hate the Guardians.
Yes.
They are so annoying
like,
to watch.
People want to like talk about the Mets and like how they play. You look at the Mets and they play small ball for the most part, and then it's the Guardians on another level.
Dude, they are annoying.
Yes.
I am so happy we are not playing them anymore. You do not understand how happy I am to be done with this team. They are so annoying.
Yeah.
Their hitters just piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that's it for the recap. Just some overall thoughts I had. I told you earlier in the week I had a take about Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Aaron Judge has reached Mike Trout level.
Let it simmer. Let me digest this.
And there's two ways that I mean this.
Explain as I collect
One
my
way,
thoughts.
just being good.
Yes.
Then the other way, where it's like he's just so expected to be good that when he does good, it's like, eh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people don't realize how just elite of a hitter he is. I'm remembering off the top of my head because of my stupid memory, but in Judge's entire career, take out his 20 games he had in August 2016 because that doesn't count. His lowest OPS was 893. His lowest OPS plus 143.
Right.
His worst year as a big leaguer, he had a 143 OPS plus, and that was in 2020 where he played about 20, 30 games.
Right. So even then, you can kind of just
Yes.
write
and I'm
that
pretty sure
one
he had
off.
COVID that year too.
Right.
So
It's 2020 is such a write-off, but I don't think that's crazy to say.
it's not. It's crazy to hear.
Yes, definitely. But if you look at the stats, the past 2-3 years, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And he even has Trout beat health-wise.
Yeah.
I think
Because Trout actually has health concerns with Judge. I feel like it was every injury except I think like one oblique injury was fluky.
right.
So
It's nothing reoccurring.
yeah.
I think the one thing that Trout probably hasn't beaten is speed.
Yeah, but that's also like he's one of the fastest guys in baseball too.
Right.
And it's not like Judge is a slouch.
No, I know.
Judge, like, I'm pretty sure there were multiple times last year where, like, not consistently,
Yeah.
but a couple times where, like, he clocked elite home to first speeds
Right. Yeah,
out of the
yeah,
box.
Right.
So it's not like he's a slouch.
No, not at all.
He's a center fielder. He
Right,
has
but he's
fast.
not going to steal you 20 bags. We'll see like 10, 15.
He may.
I know.
He stole 16 last year, but he wasn't really being that aggressive.
Fair. With the
If
new
he's
rules.
aggressive, if Volpe's on second, he's there. He made
Double
a piggyback steal.
Fair enough.
So
it's Mike Trout has been like the best player in baseball
I
for
get
so many
exactly what you mean.
years. It's kind of like
breaking the status quo makes
Right,
it,
it's like-
you don't want to break it.
that can't be right.
Yeah.
I think Trout might have him beat if he's fully healthy. I think.
Mhm.
I mean, look, he hit 40 home runs last year, missing how many games?
Yeah, I think it was like 50.
Right. So I think he might still have him beat, but
Mhm.
given the context,
Look at them at their best, though. Trout's never had a season like Judge last year.
fair enough.
So
Fair
it's
enough.
like, stop with the music out there. We don't
Yeah,
care.
they're doing music outside, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's not crazy to say. I mean, look,
That's-
he's being paid $40 million for a reason.
That's why I said I had a take, but I was saving it for the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's. I wouldn't.
It almost feels
lu-
sacrilegious.
It does. It does. It's a lukewarm take. I'm not gonna say it's a hot take because you can back it up.
I think it's hot in the sense of because no one's talking about it.
Fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a hot take,
Yeah.
but it is.
It is.
And then kind of just because I mentioned Volpe, is Volpe just a leadoff hitter?
I think he
could-
should be.
It could honestly just be a thing of that where like
Comfortability, maybe.
he is just a better leadoff hitter than he
Yeah.
is a 9-hole hitter.
Right.
I think that the lineup is a lot better with DJ5. I think DJ LeMahieu is I want to say, what's like a quarter of a step below elite?
A quarter of a step below elite.
DJ LeMahieu is a quarter of a step
He's
below elite.
Above all-star, but not quite at elite.
yes, that's him as a leadoff hitter.
Right.
But I think he would be an absolutely elite 5-hole hitter.
Right.
Because you have him at the 5-hole, or even a 6-hole, because how Glaber's doing.
Right.
Where either have one of them 5 or 6, however you want to do it. With how good they both are at driving in runs, I want them to be on when everyone else is on to drive in those runs.
Right.
So I just think that Volpe has, like, it's one game.
Yeah.
One game. Like, I'm not saying do it right now, do it for, like,
the rest of the year. Yeah.
But if it continues this way, I think that the best lineup is with Volpe at leadoff.
As long as DJ's hurt, they should test him at leadoff.
There should be no one. If Volpe's playing and DJ's not playing, there should be no one else at leadoff.
Yeah. I mean, was he a leadoff hitter in the minors?
I think he did at points.
Okay.
He
wasn't like primarily.
Other than like the first 4 or 5 games spring training, he led off every single game in spring training.
Yeah.
So their long-term plan is definitely to have him as that leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
But the short term is just a thing of how long is the short term going to be.
Right. No, definitely. But I mean, I think in a perfect world, he is your leadoff hitter. He's like, you talk about leadoff hitters.
In the playoffs, he is your leadoff hitter.
Yeah. He's just like the prototypical leadoff guy.
Yeah.
He gets on base. He can steal bags. He's fast. You got big hitters behind him. He can go home, first to home on a double.
Mm-hmm.
He can steal you back. He's that fast. I mean, like, he's a, dare I say, perfect leadoff guy.
Yes. Remember the comp I had for him?
Right.
Mookie Betts.
Yes.
He's Mookie Betts if Mookie Betts never moved out of the infield.
Yeah.
I think, and we're not saying he is Mookie Betts. I'm saying from a straight skills standpoint, he could hit 20 bombs. He'll steal you 30 bases. He is speed. He is
Lightning
fun.
McQueen.
He is about the same height. They have almost identical batting stances.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to compare him.
Yeah.
But you
hate to compare, but to put it in to perspective.
We're comping, we're not comparing.
Yeah.
Even though comping stands for comparing.
It's different.
But they're different.
Yes.
They are saying a comp is different than comparing.
Yeah.
So that's like that. Speaking of another kid, I just love Oswaldo Cabrera.
I know. He's
just
so fun.
much fun.
Yeah.
There was a stat I saw from by the way, the game I went to in Baltimore, he made a very, 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 very nice diving play.
Okay.
A lot of varies.
Yeah.
It's either he leads or he is second on the Yankees in outfield defensive runs saved since he came up. I think he leads them.
Right.
So
and with like moving,
he played 3
everywhere
games in the outfield in the minors in his career.
Yeah.
And he leads the Yankees in defensive runs saved since he came
one
up.
of the better defensive outfielders.
I think I tweeted about it when he got the hit. I do not care where he plays. I don't care where. He has to play every single day. He will give you very good as a floor defense with a good amount of pop and that like spark plug just funness.
Yeah.
And he's also a lefty. That helps. So I don't see how
he has the flexibility where you should be able to squeeze him in each and every day.
I love the quote, and he says it like once every like 2 days, I feel. But his favorite position is the position that Boone writes in the lineup card that day.
Right.
So
he just wants to play the game. I love it. I love it.
He was like the 14th ranked prospect.
Right.
Came up as I think like a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Or 23-year-old. So he wasn't like anything insane, but he's just proving why he has value on a major league team.
Definitely.
He definitely should be just
starting
every day.
At some point, at some place, in some order.
I don't care where.
You make it work.
He could play anywhere in the lineup, anywhere in the field. You have to.
I can see the gears turning. He's thinking of a hot take.
He is almost as important to have in the lineup every day, almost.
Okay.
As Judge and Rizzo. Just because he could do stuff that no one else on the team could do. He could play anywhere.
Right.
He has no health issues, so he can play 150 games a year. Guys are going to need off days. Guys are going to get hurt.
Right.
He should be a mainstay in that lineup every day with guys like Judge, Rizzo, Stan.
Right. That's when you put it like that.
You know what I mean? I was trying to think of the word
Right.
the way to word it, because that could come off. That'd be like, oh, he's good as Judge.
Yeah, no.
But like,
In the fact that he's a main, like you said, the fact that he should be a mainstay in the lineup. Yes.
Every single day. He should, if he is healthy and he doesn't play 150 games, I will do stuff that will get this podcast taken down. That's
Gone
it first
before
of all.
it even blew up. But yeah.
Yeah. My last point is, what has Aaron Hicks done? I say that so much.
I know.
What has he done to earn his spot on the roster over Franchi Cordero when Harrison Bader comes back?
Absolutely
Nothing. Every day, he just breaks. He is the prototypical lefty. He had, as we mentioned earlier, he always had this insane potential, but it never just panned out.
Yeah.
What if they figured it out?
Right.
He had an incredible spring. Spring doesn't matter all that much, or it can.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Unless it fits your narratives.
Fair enough.
He has been on fire to start the year.
Yep.
And Aaron Hicks just doesn't want to be on the team. There was 2 or 3 balls that were hit to him. They were relatively hard plays. He didn't make I think he made 1. Messed up 2 other ones. And it's just a thing of
how long is the leash?
He doesn't want to be here. We don't want him to be here.
Right.
It's just one of those
There's
things.
nothing really keeping him here. So it's kind of just
money.
besides a contract. But it's kind of just slowly just go over there. go over there.
Don't move my hat.
Clock's ticking.
Do you have any other takes on that, or
on Hicks specifically?
Well, as it relates to everyone else.
I think we've said enough about Hicks.
I don't want to harp on that guy.
Yeah, my biggest thing now is I know you said the exit velocities weren't much. How long do you use the Clark Schmidt experiment?
Okay.
I feel like
he gets until it is Brito, I think, solidified himself a spot in the rotation.
You think so already?
I think, he's already had 2 very good starts.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting another one versus the Twins in Game 1, which we'll get into. I think unless he blows up or gets hurt, he has solidified a spot in the rotation.
Brito.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that based off who pitches worse between Clark and Herman will be the first one to get replaced when
Rodon's back.
Sevy, Rodon, whoever's the first one to come back. And then it'll be the other one versus Brito. I think Brito wins in the long run. I think Clark has, 2-3 more starts?
Yeah.
I think he pitched well.
Okay.
Overall. I just think that inning kind of messed him up.
Definitely.
I honestly think he's going to be a very good reliever. I could almost see him as them doing to him what they did to Michael King in the Loizaga, where they had him start as a starter, did not pan out. Then they move him to a reliever as a 2-inning guy, and he's just absolutely elite at that. Because he has the stuff, he just can't go multiple times through the order.
Right. I mean, what's his longest how's his longest outing so far?
This outing was, it was 4 innings.
4 innings.
I want to say that was his longest. I don't think he's gone 5.
4 innings. He hasn't gone 5
he
yet.
He may have gone 4 1/3. Right. I don't think he's gone 5.
So, obviously, Herman didn't go 5 either. But I think it comes down to not necessarily who's giving you the results, but who's giving you the length. Because
Herman went 3, by the way.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. From here on out, for deciding who gets what spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have Sevy coming back from injury, Rodon coming back from injury. You're gonna have to baby them in a little bit. So there's gonna be days where you need your start. Cole's gonna give you 7 innings. Nestor can give you 5-6 innings. 7 on a good day.
I'd say 6.
6? Sure. We'll say 6. Give you 6 innings. But then you get to Clark Schmidt, who can barely get you 5. Or Herman, who's going to barely get you 4. You know what I mean? So, because I'm going to talk about this later, starting pitcher length, I guess you want to call it, how far they get into the games, of course, obviously deeply affects the bullpen. So how much are you going to tax the bullpen by keeping a guy who can barely go 5 innings? I think what you said is probably his long-term place, that 2-inning reliever. But in the same breath, how many 2-inning reliever guys do you need?
I feel like
not necessarily you need to use him for 2 innings every time.
you can. I feel like it's also a thing of you can never have enough bullpen guys
Fair.
because guys are gonna come up, guys are gonna come down, like up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Something that you said made me think. So they're gonna baby Severino and Rodon back.
Yeah.
Herman and Schmidt aren't gonna give you that many innings. Do you think they almost do like piggyback starts?
As in, like what? Rodon Schmidt?
3 or 4, Schmidt, like 3 innings.
Maybe.
Just to start it, just to like do that, so that way you can still
Maybe.
have them
Get
give
their
you
work in.
length,
Right.
and you're also not
It-
pushing Severino or Rodon.
It's a good thought. I don't know.
If they'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know how well in action that would work. I mean, it's like essentially using, say, Rodon. It's essentially using Rodon as an opener.
I wouldn't say 4 innings is an opener. An opener is one maybe 2 innings.
Fair
And
enough.
It's also with him coming back.
Right.
So I don't.
And then the other thing is, do you go 6-man?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't. I think like if you go 6-man, you have to have like a very good 6
Right.
to justify going 6.
Okay.
So I'd rather get like very good 5
Okay.
than kind of like have it tail off, and then you take away a start from Cole. Like Cole
Yeah.
could end up losing 2 or 3 starts.
Right.
Like how much? I just don't think it's worth
Yeah.
in the long run.
No, just something I thought of.
Speaking of Rodon, are we doing the trade
We'll talk about this after.
now?
Now.
Now.
We're gonna do this right now.
Now.
Now?
Yes.
We're talking about fantasy, by the way.
Yes.
I'm cooking, but we'll see. I'll get back to you after.
No.
We're gonna do this right now.
Right now. Right now.
Right now. I'll get back to you after.
Okay, fine.
But to kind of just like tie everything in a bow.
You're a bitch and you don't want to do the trade.
No. Where was I going with this?
Bow.
Bow.
Bow
Tied
ties
in a bow. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Does Herman have options?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
so
option is send him into the sun.
the option is DFA.
I don't think he does.
Okay, so
I think Clark may have one.
right, so that kind of
Herman, I'm pretty sure has none.
yeah, so that might affect things a little bit as
Herman and Aaron Hicks for Clevland Guardians.
straight up easy. But that's that after all this talking, that probably decides it there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clark has options.
Yeah, but if
Herman doesn't. But
Herman is that,
if he's that bad, then yeah,
'cause
different
I feel
story.
like the argument option also has to do with age. I did not realize this. Domingo Herman is a grandpa. He is 30 years old.
Yeah, he's a grandpa.
That is crazy.
He doesn't look. I mean, good for him, I
That
guess.
is.
You've
I
been
thought he
around
was,
for how long?
27. He's been around since like 2017,
Right.
2018.
Right.
And he's only 30 years old. Like, that's just.
You would think he'd turn something around, but
Yeah.
guess
So I
not.
think it's like almost like Clark, I think, is 27 years old.
right.
So he's younger
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yes.
Pitchers do take longer to develop. That's kind of just like a known thing. So, I don't know. I get the options, but it's also when it's like at that point,
Right.
when do you just like cut ties, say goodbye, dump them off for a team's like 39th ranked prospect.
Right. Fair
So
enough.
it's like
Yeah.
clear the spot on the 40 man, and then say that one of the Yankees' really good like pitching prospects ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Keep the wheel moving, I guess. Out you go.
You got any more comments?
No, that was it. That was
questions, concerns.
Clark Schmidt was my main point.
All right. So looking at game 1 of a 4-game series against my favorite team to play, the Minnesota Twins.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay. So the first game is at 7:05 on Thursday. We have Joe Ryan versus Joni Burrito. Obviously, Burrito never faced Twins.
Right.
Joe Ryan in 1-game start, he had 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. It's like, who knows?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good thing, can't be a bad thing, but
Yeah.
don't put the house on Joe Ryan getting shelled.
Yeah.
Oh, game 2, Tyler, how do you pronounce his name?
Mally?
Tyler
Molly?
Molly,
Molly?
like the drug. We're
Like the
calling him
drugs.
that. Tyler
Molly.
Molly versus Nestor Cortez. I was kind of surprised by this. In 20.2 innings pitched, Nestor Cortez has a 4.35 ERA against Twins.
Really?
I think he only had like one or two really
one blow
bad.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also 20 innings is kind of a small sample size.
Right. That's like
yeah, like
2-3 starts.
2.
What am I
That's like
talking about?
4.
Never mind.
That's
Never
like
mind.
3-4.
Yeah.
Um.
I can't math on the spot.
Yeah. Tyler Mahle has never faced the Twins. He was on the Reds for the longest time. Game 3 is at 1:05. That was a 7:05 game.
Yeah.
Game 3 is at 1:05 on Saturday. It is Kenta Maeda versus thou who shall not be named.
Who?
Thou who shall not be named.
Domingo Germán?
Thou who shall not be named.
Domingo Germán.
Kenta Maeda against the Yankees. 1 game started, 4.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. Same thing. That was in 2021, it said. So it's like recent. But he's also kind of gotten worse since then.
Right.
He's been on like the steady decline, so who knows.
Take it for what you will.
That who should not be named in 21.1 innings pitched has a 5.48 ERA.
Oh, that's good for him.
We were talking when I was like looking up the stat. I literally just like screamed across the room to Nick. It's like, why does Domingo Germán just not have good numbers against any baseball team?
Because Domingo Germán is not a good baseball pitcher.
And we have the inverse of that later. Yeah, who knows about that? Game 4, Pablo Lopez versus Garrett Cole. In his 1 start against the Yankees, Pablo Lopez, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. That was in 2018.
Right. He's looked really good so
4
far.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. I think he's a bit of a different pitcher now.
Yeah.
And he's gotten off to a pretty good start. So.
Garrett Cole in 28 innings pitched against Twins. He has a 3.21 ERA. But that's pretty good.
Decent.
He had 1 outing last year where he kind of had like that span of like he wasn't really him.
Yeah.
Where he just was not good.
Is that when they, what was it? Was that back-to-back home runs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in 2.1 innings. He gave up 7 runs.
Right.
I looked up an ERA calculator.
Okay.
You take out those 2.1 innings pitched, he has a 1.07 ERA against them.
All right. So, yeah.
So, like,
1 blow-up.
1 blow-up, you take that out, he has absolutely elite numbers against them.
That will be
And
the
what is
premier
that?
pitching
25.2 innings,
Right.
that is. So that's
still good.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah.
And then the inverse of thou should not be named. I also said Aaron Judge. Why does he have good numbers against every team?
Yeah.
In 27 games played versus Twins, he has 319, a 319 average with 9 home runs. DJ LeMahieu versus Twins in 20 games, 321 average, 3 home runs. Everyone else, they had like not bad numbers, but like solid numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing special.
Like pretty good numbers, but nothing to like really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa, we don't know if he's
The
playing.
Met?
No.
Oh, I
The
forgot.
Giant.
Oh, sorry. You played him already.
Yeah.
I've been watching him this whole time.
We don't know if he's gonna play game 1. It's kind of like weird. He may play the series. Who knows? I had a typo on my notes. I just realized I meant to say 37 games played. I put 37 home runs.
Imagine. Oh my god.
A 310 average and 11 home runs. 11 games played, 37 home runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's gonna kill us.
If he plays.
If he plays.
Or his ankle explodes.
Yeah. It's a sweep. It's the Twins.
Really?
At home. I don't care. 4-game, 10-game, 162 game. It's gonna be a sweep. It's the Twins. The only game that's in question for me is because let's break it down game by game.
Sure.
Joe Ryan versus Brito. Joe Ryan, who knows with him? Brito has looked very good so far. I think the offense can do more against Joe Ryan than the Twins can do against Brito.
I give advantage pitcher for not facing.
Yeah. Tyler Mahle versus
Solid.
Nestor Cortez. I'm taking Nestor over Mahle any day of the week. I'm taking the Yankees offense to hit Mahle over the Twins offense to hit Nestor every day of the week.
Yeah.
Game 3. This is like the hardest one. But I still don't. I don't think Kenta Maeda just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Like, you know how there's those guys that
they might have good numbers,
like,
but it's like
he doesn't even have those good numbers anymore.
fair.
He's like, I don't want to be mean, but like he is pretty washed. Like he's kind of like near the end of his career.
He's coming back from Tommy John. So he's probably on a short leash, anyways.
I don't see anything there, even though it's against Thou Shall Not Be Named. I
Domingo
think he has
Herman.
better numbers at home.
Right.
Thou Shall Not Be Named.
Domingo
So
Herman.
I'm gonna kill you. So I just, the hardest game is Pablo Lopez versus Cole.
That's gonna be a pitcher's duel.
And I just don't see them hitting Cole.
Okay.
So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like every game you look at it and it's like
they should win.
They have a significant. That's on paper.
Yeah.
Then you also include that the Yankees literally have a nursery set up in their house for the Twins because they just own them.
Yeah.
The Twins are their children. Like, literally.
Rock the baby.
Rock the baby. Like, I just don't.
I know.
If they don't win 3 out of 4, I will be very disappointed.
Right.
If they win 3 out of 4, it's like, eh.
That's what you should do, I feel. 3 out of 4 is like, should. Sweep is perfection, obviously.
A sweep's almost expected for me.
Okay.
You don't understand, like...
High expectations.
You don't understand...
I don't. I can't.
How, like, much of our son the Twins are. Like, that game where they hit 7 runs off Cole in 2.1 innings, they lost. And that was in Minnesota.
Right.
So it's like...
They might hit, but not going to hit as much as the Yankees.
I just don't... Especially if DJ and Glaber come back. You got Franchi Cordero, who does not care.
He's a man on a mission.
Does not care. I don't...
You can't see it.
I just...
Yeah. Sweep or bust. Biggest series of the season.
No, I'm not going that far, but I will be shocked if they don't win the series.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's like...
Yeah.
That's really all I got.
Right.
Unless you got something else.
I think that Pablo Lopez game is going to give the Yankees a little more trouble than you might expect, but that's just my 2 cents.
But it's also because Cole, in my opinion, should not have an earned run this year.
Fair enough.
So it's like that's more of what it is. That
not necessarily Lopez.
Lopez is really good. I just take Cole, especially at home.
Fair.
I'm like.
Fair enough. All right. High expectations.
Yes.
Sure. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Is it time?
It is time.
Can I talk now?
No.
Do I have the talking stick?
No.
All right, we'll see you in Queens.
The talking water bottle?
See you then.
Now entering Queens.
Welcome to Queens, everybody. Where yesterday I was not very happy with how this series was going.
Yes,
Yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Before that.
I thought you were talking about. Okay.
But no. Yesterday I was not so happy with the series, but the Mets ended up taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres, which I think is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the games, first off, the injury report brought to you by Triboro MD.
Dr. O'Brien.
Reporting for duty. First off, we got Sam Coonrod was transferred to the 60-day IL, made room for right-handed pitcher Edwin Uceda, who was claimed off of waivers, then optioned to AAA.
Both of them fake names.
Sure.
Not real.
Base pitching depth, nothing spectacular, but
you almost did it.
Yeah. Next off, we got Omar Narvaez. Officially went on the 10-day IL. Francisco Alvarez was then brought up. We'll talk about him later. Jose Quintana also transferred to the 60-day to make room for Seth Elledge, who was also claimed off waivers. So again, pitching depth, just opening a 40-man spot, just getting a fresh arm in.
Not real.
Next off, Justin Verlander. Not much to report, but he's still throwing. There was reduced inflammation. He's going to go to St. Lucie during the Mets' West Coast trip. So we're not going to see him during the West Coast trip, but it seems like they're aiming for end of April, beginning of May for Verlander. So he should make a rehab start in St. Lucie. So that's great to see. Hopefully we have him soon. And lastly, Edwin Diaz talked to the media today for the first time since his unfortunate injury. He thinks he's going to pitch this year. He's optimistic. I'm not. I'm going to take it more cautiously optimistic. If he does, great, but I'm not expecting him to. And it's also one of those things where I don't want him to rush back at not 100%. Like, if he's coming back, he went through rehab start, he's 100%, he's ready to go. I don't want, he's 90% ready, 95% ready. Like, if he's ready to go and he's pitching, he has to be 100%. But that's all I got for the injury report, brought to you by Triboro MD. So now we will get into the Padres series. So Game 1, the wild card rematch of Game 1 and the wild card, Max Scherzer against Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish absolutely owns the Mets. They have not won against him until this game. So first win against Yu Darvish, what a time to be alive. But first off, Max Scherzer looked a lot better, I will say. Not great, but better than what we saw in Milwaukee. He went 5 innings, scoreless innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Not dominant, but he battled through 5 innings. He was a real grinder in that start.
His grit?
Yes.
He had the grit?
He had the grit. It was a really gritty start from him. I love to see it. The bullpen from there took it 4 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Locked it down. Yu Darvish, like I said, first win against Yu Darvish, and we scored 5 runs against him, which is huge.
Yeah.
Against Yu Darvish,
yeah.
I'll talk about it in a little bit, but some of the hits against him that led to runs were a little stupid, lucky hits, or not so lucky. Maybe it's just skill. You decide. But this quick scoring summary, no crickets today. McNeil, 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning to get things started, 2-0 Mets. Escobar added on of a sac fly, 3-0, and then Lindor topped it off with a 2 RBI double for himself, which made it 5-0 Mets. Overall, fantastic game.
Yeah.
3 for 6 with runners in scoring position, which has been an issue so far, which we'll talk about in the second game. So great offensive production, great showing by Scherzer, great showing by the bullpen, fantastic game all around. Now, the 2 hits I was talking about, Luis Guillorme, the best player on the planet, laid down.
How can you say that?
The absolute perfect bunt that hugged the line and stayed fair. Aaron Judge cannot do that.
No. Franchy
Cordero cannot do that.
Yeah, because Franchy Cordero's ball is 500 feet in the seats.
Well, Luis Guillorme's ball was 5 inches from third base, so it was.
We know who won.
Luis Guillorme. It was an absolute perfect bunt. I don't think I've seen that good of a bunt ever.
It sounds so stupid, you freaking out about a bunt, but I completely agree.
It's such a
you know what I mean?
great bunt.
Yeah.
You want to, you're teaching kids how to bunt in Little League, you show them Luis Guillorme's at bat. And then Tomas Nido, not another bunt, but a swinging bunt type of thing, that did the exact same thing. Hugged the third base line, stayed fair. So shout out to the grounds crew. Home field advantage, everybody.
Just in between innings, they messed with the foul lines.
I know. And apparently, I just remembered, McNeil used to do grounds work, I think at his college. So he used to be the ones that did all the work on the lines and everything. So he took a lot, what's it called? He kind of knew what went behind it. So he was smiling and laughing about it after the game because he knows how hard it is to get, because what they do is they build a microscopic trench on the line. So if the ball gets caught in it, it kind of just stays there. And the Mets ground crew did a fantastic job. But anyways.
Player of the game, Mets ground crew.
The third base line. Shout out to the grounds crew. All right. To the not so good stuff. Let me start talking about bunts. Game 2. David Peterson against Ryan Weathers. Peterson, good outing. I think this is kind of what you're going to get from him. Kind of when we talk about McGill and Peterson, how Peterson has that higher floor, lower ceiling. This is his floor. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Much better than what he did in Milwaukee. Like I said, this is kind of what you expect from him. 5-6 innings, 2-3 runs. He keeps you in the game.
Yeah.
And those 2 runs came off Manny Machado on a just fair double. So, like, if you're going to get beat...
Come on, ground screw.
I know. If you're going to get beat, you're going to get beat by someone like Machado
Your favorite player.
Yeah, as much as I don't like him. But great outing from Peterson. After Peterson, Denny Reyes and Brooks Raley both had scoreless appearances, so they kept it close. And then the most questionable decision, I'm sorry, Dennis Santana. He did not have a scoreless appearance, and he gave up a 2-run home run to Xander Bogaerts, which made the game 4-1 instead of 2-1, which makes more sense in a second after the scoring summary. So Canna sack fly, scored Lindor, 1-0 Mets. They did not score until the 9th inning off of Josh Hader. Tommy Pham RBI single. That made the game 4-2. If Dennis Santana did not give up the 2-run home run to Xander Bogaerts, that's a tie game.
Counter.
I know what you're going to say. Maybe.
Yes.
Probably not.
Probably. There's no such thing as law of predetermined outcomes.
Yes. Yeah. There's no saying that if he doesn't give up the home run that the Mets win. But it stings that little more. Kind of like, oh, coulda, shoulda, woulda type thing.
I'm not even saying that because, like, it's Dennis Santana and we love Dennis Santana
He's
here.
a great guy.
But it's honestly just a thing of, like, you never know if Hader implodes. You know what I mean? Because it could have been a thing of, like, Hader's warming up, then the home run happens. I don't want to say he, like, loosens up a little, but he's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. A little weight off his shoulders, kind of whatever. But overall thoughts, rough game overall. They had bases loaded, no outs. I think it was no outs. I believe it was no outs. Yes, it was no outs against Ryan Weathers in the first inning. How many runs do you think they scored? Yeah, 0. Bases loaded, no outs. You have to score at least one. And even one is still like, okay.
The Padres are more than okay with taking one
when bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah.
But Alonso struck out, and then Canna, who I'll talk about, grounded into the weakest double play you'll ever see to end the threat. They did not score until Canna hit a sac fly. Regardless, this game was really bad for the offense. They went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And I don't know what the stats are after today because they had a better game. They have the second worst team average with runners in scoring position at 196.
Yow.
Only the Kansas City Royals are worse than the Mets with runners in scoring position. They have a 69 WRC plus. And for you guys who don't know what
say average, I was gonna be like,
no.
Okay,
For you guys who don't know what WRC plus is, think of it as 100 is average, so below 100 is below average.
Anything that says plus is 100.
100 is always average. So if they have a 69 WRC plus, basically means they are 31% worse than the average team with runners in scoring position.
And the reason why we use like a lot of plus stats is that year to year they're better.
Yeah.
Because they account for like park factors,
overall offense in the league,
like that year compared to league average.
Right.
So if you hear us mention the plus stats, it's almost because like they're better overall.
Yes. Yes.
So.
But really, really bad runners in scoring position. They had a lot of opportunities. When I say a lot, they had a lot of opportunities. They didn't cash in with any of them. And I remember when Tommy Pham was leadoff in like the third game of the season, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to question Buck's decision making again. Dennis Santana in the 8th inning in a 1-run game. I'm sorry. Dennis Santana is our guy.
But he's also young. He's like not proven. You have guys that have a lot more experience.
Right. And I looked at it. No one else had enough days of rest. Everyone else pitched the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he said in the past he doesn't want to pitch guys back-to-back days. But throwing Dennis Santana like that when he's had 2 rough appearances before that, he's been a bit wild. He's been letting up runs. His ERA is over 8 now. You're putting him in basically top of the order in a 1-run game. You're punting the game at that point.
Yeah.
Again, who knows what happens if they put someone else and they don't. Bogarts doesn't hit the 2-run home run. Who knows what happens? But are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. I also don't like the back-to-back days thing. I feel like that's not. If you only went 1 inning, I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, neither do I.
I feel like you could go back-to-back days, but not any more than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you could go 2 out of 3, but you cannot go 3 in a row.
No, definitely not. I didn't look at how many pitches the guys threw, but regardless, was not the correct move. And then Francisco Alvarez got the start in this game. He looked completely overmatched. It could be nerves. I'm going to write it off as nerves.
It could also just be the best closer in baseball.
Right, but even before that, he went 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. One of them striking out to end the game against Josh Hader.
Striking out on 7 balls.
He never threw him a strike. Alvarez never saw a strike in the Josh Hader at bat. He swung at a ball at his head. Like at his head level. I'm going to write it off as nerves. I think Alvarez is not up here because he's ready. Alvarez is up here because out of necessity because Narvaez went down. So, look, he's not a bust. I'm not freaking out. Talked to me yesterday and I was going for his head. But he's not a bust.
What was it, 2nd game played? 3rd game played?
Yeah, second start of this year. So,
gotta calm down.
Yeah, he needs time.
You look at, I just want to go on a mini tangent here. You look at last year, the best rookies from last year, all of them had abysmal, first 10 games.
Right.
Like, Julio, I think, wasn't even hitting 200.
No, he was striking out,
exactly.
every other at-bat.
So, you got to, give them time.
Right.
Almost another rookie that I could think of that people are overreacting about, but you need to calm down. Continue.
He needs the ABs, but it doesn't seem that Buck wants to give it to him. I'll talk about it a bit more in a few after the last game. Game 2 was a very winnable game. They had their chances, so it was very frustrating. On to the good things. Today's game, Game 3, Tyler McGill. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Perfect. Not perfect, but I didn't put this in. 2 earned runs. 1 mistake pitch to Juan Soto, an outside fastball that he pulled.
You can't,
It's Juan Soto. Say what you want about him, that he's struggling. It's Juan Soto. Yeah. He was struggling with his fastball command at first, but he kind of settled in nicely. But 5 innings, 2 earned runs, you take that every day of the week for your essentially 7th
29th
starter.
Right.
Going up against him, Blake Snell, another Blake Snell masterclass of a start. He lefty. Surprisingly went 6 innings, but 5 walks, 5 Ks, 4 runs. Welcome to the Blake Snell experience. They ran a lot on him.
If I remember from the Rays, he is very slow.
Yeah, he's still a bit slow. So that, which made me look at, the Mets are 4th in stolen bases.
Mm-hmm.
They're 12 for 13. They've been caught once. Something to look at. I like what I'm seeing. But scoring summary, a Nimmo quote-unquote double, low miscommunication, the outfield from Gold Glover Juan Soto. Nimmo double scores Pham. Lindor hits a home run. Pete hits a home run. Nimmo RBI single. Pham RBI single. Mets win 5-2. Great game. Good game. There were some missed opportunities, I will say. They went 4 for 12 for runners in scoring position.
That's
not bad.
That's good.
That's good.
That's 333.
Right. But 12 opportunities is kind of like, there could have been more, is what I'm getting at. I don't want to be greedy.
I don't care.
You take 4 for 12?
That's great. When the Yankees led the league in 2019 with runners in scoring position, that they hit, I think, like 320 over the season. So that, you know what I mean? And that was like historically good runners in scoring position.
All right. Maybe I am being greedy.
You're being a bitch.
Maybe I'm being greedy. But some missed opportunities. I think today's game showed what their philosophy is the best. They took their walks. They ran on Snell. They're not going to hit home runs except for Lindor and Pete. They're not going to outplay you by power. They're going to squeeze you to death. They're going to make you overthink. They're going to make you, should I throw this pitch? Oh, wait, this guy might steal. It makes you get into the pitcher's head, make him work faster, make him kind of lose his rhythm. That's what the Mets' philosophy is.
And the way to get around it, ignore him.
Exactly.
But if you do it well enough, they can't.
Yes. So I think today's game was a great showing of what the philosophy is. And look, you took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, who just took 3 out of 4 from the Braves. So a kind of hot Padres lineup came in.
The Braves look like the best team in the National League before that Padres series.
Right. And Padres came out of it a little hot, and you shut them down for 2 out of 3 games.
It was also almost like a little grudge match, too.
Right,
so
after the wild card series. So wish they could have done that in October. But regardless, good series. Game 2 was...
It was the inverse, right? The playoffs?
Yeah.
You guys lost 1 loss?
Yeah, lost 1 loss. Anyways, don't make me remember. Going back to the Dennis Santana move, I think that is an unfortunate occurrence because you're not getting length out of your starters. Scherzer went 5 innings. Peterson went 5 2/3. McGill went 5 innings. That's what?
Peterson,
8?
McGill, you can't really blame, but
No,
Scherzer's got to start.
Scherzer, yes. McGill was at 81 pitches, and they took him out. I think Buck just didn't want him to face Soto a 3rd time.
I don't really blame him on that one, but
right.
You want him to face Soto, Bogarts, Machado for a 3rd time?
No, I know. But I do want to see a little bit more length from them because I feel like this bullpen is being taxed heavily pretty early, which is why you have Dennis Santana pitching the 8th on a 1-run game. And I know April's the time to test relievers. Who's going to break out? Who can you trust to put in those situations? Unfortunately, it does not seem like Dennis Santana's your guy. He has filthy stuff. Just needs to work on his walks. I want to see more length just because of the bullpen, just so we don't have another Dennis Santana situation. My next thing pains me to say. I talk about it all the time. Escobar, man. 4 for 39. He's hitting 103. How long's the leash?
Yeah.
You got guys knocking on the door. You have the guy knocking on the door. Beatty came back from...
He's not knocking on it. He has a SWAT ram. And
he's ramming down the door.
It's the meme of the SWAT ram and then lock is a Cheeto.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the young guys are up and coming. Yesterday, they all hit a home run. And by all of them, I mean the essentially big 3, I would want to call them. Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, Ronnie Mauricio. All hit home runs yesterday. Beatty's back from his thumb injury. He was only sidelined 1 or 2 games. So in 23 at-bats, small sample size in AAA, he's hitting .391, on-base percentage of .481, slugging .870, good for a 1.351 OPS. He has hit 3 home runs. Mark Vientos, 33 at-bats. He's hitting .333, .421 on base, .636 slugging, 1.057 OPS. He's hit 3 home runs. Ronnie Mauricio, who is the least likely to be called up, 36 at-bats. He's hitting .361, 439 on base, 806 slugging, 1.254 OPS. He's hit 4 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 guys right there who could technically take Escobar's spot already.
Yeah.
So, how long's the leash?
Yeah.
What do you think?
He has one more year left on his deal?
He has a year with an option left.
You know my opinion on why Beatty's not on the roster yet.
Yeah.
I believe he should be.
Yes.
I think they're just trying to manipulate service time. I think whenever that date is, I think Escobar is thin air,
Right.
and Beatty will
Take it over.
I just think you guys are gonna have to suffer for another 2 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm giving it till the end of the West Coast trip, which is 1.5 weeks ish. Like end of April essentially is when they're back home. I'm giving it until then. If Escobar doesn't perform, if he doesn't show some sign of life, 4 for 39. It's an automatic out at that point, and you already
Easy
have.
out, Escobar.
Yeah, I hate to say it, and you already have. If you're not going to give a lot of playing time to Alvarez at catcher, you have Nito at catcher, who's also not a great hitter. So they're hitting 8-9. So that's 2 almost easy outs.
You pretty much
2
don't
rally
have a DH.
killers.
Pretty
Yeah,
much have the pitcher back there.
I know. Look, for DH, Tommy Pham's been serviceable. Look, he.
Well, I'm not saying in that sense. I'm saying how the pitcher was essentially an easy out.
Oh yeah.
Like you pretty much don't have a DH in that sense.
Oh
of
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Okay.
Where
no.
you just have that easy out and then.
Right, the guy who bunts the other guys across, which Escobar's been doing, which Nito's been doing. So you're really gonna just have 2 pitchers in the bottom of your lineup? And I think.
And you just cut one in Darren Ruff.
Right, and I don't remember exactly the stat, but the Mets 6 through 9 hitters have a 630 OPS.
It's not good.
Not good. Which brings me to
and
another.
Offense seems to be higher this year
Yeah.
as well. So it's
I know. Which brings me to my next point. I don't care if it's a lefty. I don't care if it's a righty. I don't care if he's throwing backwards. Mark Hanna is not a 5-hole hitter.
Yeah.
Jeff McNeil is a 5-hole hitter. Jeff McNeil has proven time and time again he can hit whoever the hell is on that mound.
Yeah.
The 1 through 5 in that lineup is Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Pete, McNeil. Whatever order you want to do it, I don't care.
I think that's.
But you think that's
I
the
think
good
that's
5?
Yeah, I think
that's the 5.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe swap Nimmo for McNeil just because that contact guy.
Yeah.
But I think that Nimmo's better at getting on base. So it's
Definitely.
and
What do you
that's
want?
also just
Nitpicking?
nitpicking.
Right.
If I had to change something, maybe that.
Yeah.
But
I have a lukewarm take I'll get into in a second, but I don't care if it's a lefty. Mark Hanna should not be hitting 5th. And with that, Mark Hanna has not been off to a great start. Mom, I'm sorry. I know you love him. He's not off to a great start. And look, Mark Hanna isn't. I like the guy. Let me just start that off first. He's not anything special. He's a right-handed Nimmo with less power, and he doesn't hit as much as Nimmo.
what's on base?
Yeah, he's
He's
the
dollar store right-handed Nimmo.
Yeah, and look, he's good as a
99-cent store.
He's good at a 6-7 hitter. I don't think he should be lower than that, but he's not your 5-hole hitter. He's not the guy who should be protecting Pete, because the past 2 games they played were against lefties, so they had Pete, Canna, and McNeil. Pete got on base, say. Canna struck out. McNeil got on base. He's a little common denominator there. Who's getting on base? Now, if this is nitpicking at this point, I want to see, or I would be interested in a different lineup. I'd want to see. I think Nimmo's your leadoff guy. Whatever. Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Alonso, Marte.
I was thinking something like Lindor too.
I think Lindor hits better in the 2-hole.
My only thing with that is now you could have 3 lefties in a row. Where it's like...
Oh, what? Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil?
I think it's...
I don't... At this point in how baseball is played today, it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? The handedness, I feel like doesn't... That's why I'm okay, like, Pete, Marte, righty-righty.
But I also think it's a thing of, like, think about how now you have to face 3 hitters.
Right.
That lets lefties off the hook a lot more.
Right.
If they know they're coming in to face, like, Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil. We're, like, granted, like, they're still very good players, but Lindor is a lot better from the left side. Canna, obviously a lefty. McNeil, obviously a lefty. So, like, yeah, even though they can still hit lefties, it's not... You'd much rather than face a righty. So I think that's almost like giving them, like, okay, we could use our righties here, we could use our lefties here, and there really should be no issue.
Okay. This is where...
That's the only issue I have with that.
So, Lindor, for his career, batting second, has a 798 OPS. Batting third, he has a 788. So, it's like, it's a toss-up, whatever you prefer. But it just seems that every time Lindor hits second, he produces a little bit more. And look, he had over 100 RBIs last year for a reason in that 3-hole. But it's just one of those things where, like, if the offense isn't in a groove, change it up a little. You know, in the game that the first game against Darvish, they had Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Alonso because Marte was out. Mm-hmm. Scored 5 runs. I know today they also scored 5 runs with that Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Pete, Canna. But it's just something that if the offense starts to, like, subside a little bit, it's a change I would not be opposed to seeing. Like I said, I think that 1 through 5 is set. It's just the order that you can play around with.
Well, it should be set.
Yeah, it should be set. But, I mean, look, these prospects are knocking on the door. Again, I give Escobar to the end of the West Coast trip, and then we'll go from there.
I give him until the service time date.
That should be about
the same, maybe another couple of days.
Yeah. But speaking of the West Coast trip, the Mets are going on the West Coast, if you can tell.
Really?
Yeah. So, basically, I feel like this usually happens in June. This seems very early this year, but Mets are going to West Coast. First up, we got Oakland. Then they're going to the Dodgers. Then they're going to the Giants. But again, first off, Oakland Athletics. Please sweep. Please sweep. Please.
It's a 3-game series?
3-game.
The only thing I will say is that stadium is so just horrible that don't feel bad if you don't sweep.
No, I know. They played last year, which is like in the Coliseum, which I feel like is one of the few games I've seen them play in the Coliseum.
That stadium sucks the life out of you.
We could have a whole episode about this how bad the stadium is. Forget about the team.
Go.
So the first game, Senga versus Capriellin.
He was the main piece of the Sonny Gray trade.
Right. The Mets never faced him. And obviously the Athletics have never faced Senga.
His numbers are sandbagged by facing the Yankees.
Really?
Like, they're lower than they should be because he just kills the Yankees.
But
everyone else he sucks against, yes.
Go figure. So, not much to talk about there. Senga's looked really good his first 2 starts, so... The ghost fork! I love what I'm seeing from him so far, so I hope he continues it. I think he's going to be great. Then next up, we got Carrasco versus Fujinami. That's a fun name. It would have been nice if it's Senga versus Fujinami.
I was thinking that.
Little Japanese action. Japanese versus Japanese.
Don't they call him Mount Fuji? Isn't that like his nickname? Mount
do
Fuji?
they?
I'm pretty sure that's like his nickname.
But Fujinami, not a great start to his MLB career. Obviously, the Mets have never faced him.
The Angels, they
they hit him a
they
bit.
climbed Mount Fiji.
They did. And the Athletics have never faced Carrasco. So,
Really?
or very little. Or like
That's kind of
the players who are now playing in
Gotcha.
Athletics have never faced him. So nothing to talk about there. And lastly, Max Scherzer versus JP Sears.
Yankee legend.
That's your guy.
3/5 of the Athletics rotation is Yankees.
Yeah, I know. JP Sears, they faced once, which was last year when they went to Oakland. He went 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 earned runs. He's a lefty though, so again, lefties. But it's the Athletics, man.
Yeah.
It's the Athletics. This is where I say no sweep would be unfortunate.
Yes.
They are really bad.
They are bad.
But no buts. They're really bad.
Turn the lights off before you leave. That bad.
Yeah. But because it's the West Coast, these are some late games, so I will be staying up.
I'll be trying to sleep, and I'll just hear screams.
No, I'll be good. I'll be like, I'll like whisper, scream,
and then you throw something against the wall.
Yeah. Then all I hear is just a. But regardless, Oakland Athletics, not a great baseball team. The Mets, a good baseball team. Sweep. Please.
Both teams. We should be 7-0 by the end of this weekend.
Yes. For our more so my mental health, I feel.
Yes.
Sweep the Athletics.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
But without that, or after that, look, the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the Padres. I can't be mad. Game 2, I feel, was very winnable. This could have easily, not going to say easily, but easily could have been a sweep. But 2 out of 3 against a really good Padres team.
The sweep was doable.
Sweep was doable. That's a better way to put it. But 2 out of 3 is great. Take it. Thank you.
The season is not over.
The season's not over. We're back on.
Yes.
So, with that being said, do you have any closing thoughts on the Mets?
Nah.
Besides, Beatty should be a starting third baseman?
I think he should. They're going to do stupid service time manipulation. They need to figure a way out.
Yeah.
To MLB, that's a big issue with MLB in the first place.
I mean, they already tried. And it's worked for the most part, except for the Mets. But
yeah. It's funny that you guys said screw it with Alonso.
I know. When there was no incentive.
Incentive.
If you guys didn't know, if a team brings
if they're on their opening day roster.
Yeah. I think there's like a little leeway. I think it's like opening day plus 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If a top prospect, I think, has to be ranked top 100 in like 2 or 3 publications.
They have to be a top prospect.
Yes. If they are on your opening day roster, if they finish first or second?
Top 2.
If they finish top 2, you get a draft pick.
Rookie of the year, top 3 in Cy Young, or top 3 in MVP.
Right. You get a draft pick.
A late first-round comp draft pick. Which can be traded. I think that's pretty interesting.
That is interesting. But yeah, so that kind of incentivizes other teams, except the Mets apparently. But regardless, great series. Off day tomorrow. Start on Friday in Oakland. That's all you got. But thank you guys for watching and listening. Remember to subscribe. Follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
You forgot YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. Rate us on Spotify.
Yes.
Leave a comment. Leave a like.
Tweet at us.
But again, thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye now.